Hello, Steve White, Triple 89 for Steve Arts 89, Star Trek's Gatekeeper. Now, I just fell into a rabbit hole. I was looking back at some folios with some VHS covers and sleeves and DVD sleeves and stuff for Star Trek, and I was thinking about Star Trek's history and home entertainment. And I had a look on YouTube, and there weren't any videos, and I thought, well, I should do one. And I think I will do a proper one later, or a couple later, because I think like tens of people might be interested in this. And I just thought, well, I'm going to do a video now just going through it because I find it interesting and I just feel like talking about it because it's interesting me in the moment. Now, as you all know, Star Trek was filmed between 66 and 69 and it went to syndication in the 70s, and it was stripped from what I've heard. Basically, what they did was they would just project it on a white wall and video on a video camera and then send the videos off to the stations, and that's what they had to show. And that's part of the reason why I think Star Trek had a reputation for being a poor quality, cheap show. Not because of the actual production or the budget, but because most people saw it for its indication like that, in just this really low quality version. Now, some of these videos ended up making their way to unofficial releases, or they were shown at conventions and stuff. Now, the first ones I ever saw were, and I was so excited to find these at the time because there was like a whole 2 episodes of Star Trek I could watch. These are in a video store. They're from a company called Paladin Promotions here in Australia. They had Tomorrow's Yesterday and The City on the Edge of Forever, and they both had the images from Tomorrow's City on the Edge of Forever, and Tomorrow's Yesterday didn't have any images of its own, and the quality was so bad it looked like black and white because the contrast was so bad from being pirated and copied of a copy over and over again that there was basically no colour, and it was like watching black and white, and the sound was horrible. But that was the best that we had. That was the best we could get, and we took what we could get. Now, not long after that, there was another company called Alliance Pictures, and they did a bunch of videos that had a few more pictures and some better artwork. Now, these were pretty much all rental, so you couldn't buy them. I bought some of these later on from $2 shops and from some video stores as they closed. But they did a few of these, like City of the Edge of Forever and Metamorphosis, I'm Mud, what are the other two? The Immunity Syndrome. And the first one that I found for retail was The Conscience of the King. That one was $35 for a whole Star Trek episode. It was amazing. I had a whole Star Trek episode. It's funny how starved and deprived we were. Now, as far as rental goes, the only rental I ever saw of Star Trek official in the video store in Australia was the double feature of Plato's Stepchildren and Whom Gods Destroy. Now, it was a while before we got some of the other ones. There were some single episodes, because in America, around 1986, they started producing single videos of Star Trek episodes. So you pay for like one episode, and they did all 80 of them. And then they did Next Gen a few years later in the same way. But here, eventually we got, because they're all in little cardboard boxes, that was like the packaging they use in America. And we did start to get some like that here, and they were from the same people, and they did City on the Edge of Forever again, of course, with Joan Collins, Star of Dynasty, Day of the Dove, Spectre of the Gun, so they did a few of them. There were more of them, and I saw them in some random little general store on the way down to a cabin in the woods with my brother-in-law, going down, and I said to him, can you buy these for me? Because I hadn't seen them before. And he said, no, don't worry, you'll find them somewhere else. You can get them back back home. And I'm like, okay, never saw them again. They were just in some random little general store, and there was 4 or 5 of them, and I've never seen them again, and I really regret not buying them, just because I'd still have the artwork and have the packaging. Now, the next big sort of moment in Star Trek video history for me was the Time Life video collection. Now, I stumbled across this, literally I found lying on the ground the flyer for the collection where you'd send away, and every month you'd get a video with 2 episodes. Now, I already had the cage, so I sent that back. And then for the next year, pretty much, I got 2 episodes a month, and the quality was amazing. And I just was so excited to have Star Trek and to get regular Star Trek episodes. It was amazing. At this time, the retail was very limited. We had the movies had gone into rental, and they'd done really well. In fact, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, was one of the first rental videos that was sold retail, because they did a discount version and it made a lot of money and sold a lot of copies. Star Trek the Motion Picture was done early on, and that in America also, they had a selection of original series episodes that were available at that time as well. I don't think they were available in Australia. I had a catalogue of them, but I never actually saw them. But retail for Australia, there are only a couple of episodes. There was Space Seed and the Changeling, which you could get as a double, because they both related to the original series and, the motion picture and The Wrath of Khan. So they were like original series episodes that related to the movies that were already available. And the other one was the Retail of the Cage, which was released as a rental after they found the colour version of it, and it was shown on TV and then released, I think, in 1988. And like I said, I sent the cage back, and I got, I think I actually got 10 of the actual videos, but I didn't actually, I don't know why, I didn't keep getting them. I have no idea why I stopped getting them. But yeah, I ended up buying the whole collection off a guy later from eBay, and I threw out all the videos and the packaging, and I just kept the actual sleeves. So I've got all of them now today in my folio, but I didn't have all of them back in the day. And that didn't bother me too much, because I knew there were only 80 episodes, and I didn't want to have watched them all, because then I wouldn't have any to look forward to. Now, after this, they started releasing Next Generation. Now, Next Generation had also been released in video stores. They had some very nice editions with embossed and hologram art covers and all that. They're very nice. So there's a selection of them. That's how most people discovered Next Generation, because it took a while for us to actually get it on TV in Australia. I think I lived in Tasmania, so it took us a lot longer to get it than they did on the mainland. But eventually they released similar sort of videos. We got 2 episodes of Next Gen per video, and I got most of the original series, the first 2 seasons, because where I grew up, they showed the first 2 seasons on one TV station in the course of 1 year, so we just had a whole year of Next Generation. But then after that, for the 3rd season onwards, they switched to another network. We finally had 2 stations in Australia, in Tasmania, but I couldn't get it, so I missed the 3rd through to 7th seasons of Star Trek Next Generation, and it wasn't until it came out on video that I saw them, and even then I had to rent most of them, because I only was able to buy some of them. I bought like the first 2 seasons because I loved them, most of them, because I had most of them on TV, video from TV, and then you usually would just get the really important episodes, and the rest you just watch from the video store. So like there'd be 12 Deep Space Nine tapes and 12 Next Gen tapes or Voyager tapes a year, and so that'd be 24 releases a year. So every other week there'd be a new Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, Next Generation or Voyager video, and you go to the rental store, you get it, you'd watch it, everyone would go and watch the Next Gen, the Deep Space Nine, the Voyager, whatever, and then you just sort of buy the important ones. Some people copied them if they had 2 video recorders, other people just bought the important ones, and then eventually they came on TV, and you'd watch them on TV, because there was a point where after the 30th anniversary, I think we had 4 nights a week of Star Trek. We had the original series repeating twice a week on Channel 7, and Channel 9 airing either Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, or Deep Space Nine and Voyager in the same week. So for a while there we had Star Trek 4 nights a week, and that was pretty good. Then what happened then? What happened after that? Well, they eventually got down to 1 show a week with Enterprise, and then the DVDs started coming out. Now the DVDs, because they did have a 30th anniversary release of the original Star Trek videos, where you got 3 episodes per volume, and if I could just find them, yep. So these are the 30th anniversary releases. They did them, and then they were the last video releases before the DVDs come out. Now the DVDs in America, they started, or in the UK, they started off doing single episode DVDs. which of course I didn't get sucked into because I'm like, I'm not doing that. I've got them on video, I taped them off TV, and I thought I can hold out until they do more episodes of volume and they actually do, or they do full season sets. So I waited, and eventually, that was in 1999. In 2004, they started releasing Next Generation for retail $235. So I couldn't get them either. So I got one secondhand for $90 of season 2, and then I held on until they had a sale, and I had more money at that time, fortunately. And this is a few years later after that, after they'd released all the Next Generations, all the Deep Space Nine, all the Voyagers, and the original series, and Enterprise. But I'd bought the original series each release, so I got all of them. I think they're 150 retail, and I got them for about 115 at Kmart. And the Next Generation ones, they were 187 was the cheapest you'd get them at Kmart. But they had this giant sale where they had all I think 50% off. So I ended up buying all of the Voyager, Deep Space Nine, and all the Next Generations except season 2, all in one go. And then I had all of them, and then it was just like Star Trek marathon forever. So that felt like amazing at the time, because before that I'd had Star Trek on cable. And I was able to watch that each week. They had what was called the Sci-Fi Zone, where you would have original series Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager between 8:30 and 12:30 each on a Saturday night. And I would watch that. I would buy my Star Trek fact files on the Saturday, and then I'd sit home and peruse through it and separate it up and put it all in all the different sections while I watched Star Trek Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager in the original series. And it was great. And then the DVDs came out, and then I could just have a whole weekend and I'd watch a season, sort of a weekend sort of things to get through them, do 2 days and just go through the whole lot. And that, I think, what sort of set up the pattern of binging that we have with streaming TV was DVD, because videos came out very much, was just single editions, you get random episodes and movies. When we got to DVD, because they could be packaged differently and cheaper, we started getting whole seasons of shows, and people started binging them, I think. And that's how we sort of got this sort of binging sort of culture that we now have with streaming and that. But then came the Blu-rays, because they remastered the original Star Trek, and they released that on Blu-ray and DVD, fortunately. Next Gen did the same thing, but they didn't release it on DVD, and they still haven't. And the Blu-ray sales weren't that big because Blu-ray didn't replace DVD, and that was a big mistake, because there's a lot of people who still want Next Generation on DVD, but like downscaled 720 copies of the remastered versions on DVD, because DVD is still the main format that people buy, and people don't want to rely on streaming, because some people are happy with that. They're happy to just take what they're given and just view whatever's there. Other people are more selective, and they really want a library that they can curate and they know it's going to be safe, and they don't have to worry about things being censored or being removed and not being available or being moved to different services, having to pay for multiple services and all that, because streaming was sold as one-stop shopping, just pay your subscription, you've got everything at your fingertips. And then all the companies started to pull all their products out of the bigger streaming services and setting up their own streaming services, so then people started losing shows, they had to buy multiple services. And now people are starting to realise that they probably shouldn't have sold off the DVD collections, which was the big selling point. Get streaming, you can sell your DVD collections and get rid of all those DVDs, and you don't need them anymore. And some people fell for that and now have to buy them again. Now, I must admit, I threw out my original Star Trek episodes once I got the remastered, but that was because I just thought I'm never going to watch them again. The Blu-ray has the original effects, and I'm never going to watch the DVD standard because I like the remastered better. But I do regret getting rid of them, and I'm going to buy them again one day. I like the original packaging, the little coloured pods and everything. And I don't know what I was thinking. I gave them to charity, so at least someone got a few dollars for them, but I kind of regret that. But that's sort of the story of VHS and home entertainment in Australia, at least. With Star Trek, I can't think of anything else. I really think they should release there are better versions of Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager that is available to stream, and they're better than the versions that are on DVD. And they've re-released the DVDs, but they just changed the packaging. I really think that they should actually re-release them with the remastered Next Generation and the better versions of Deep Space Nine and Voyager, because the people who are going to buy DVD for the security of physical media in their own library, they're still going to stream them for convenience, because going through and finding the disc is a hassle compared to streaming. So those people are still going to watch streaming and buy the DVDs. And the people who aren't interested, they were never going to buy them anyway, so they're not going to stop streaming to buy the DVDs. So I really think they should just upgrade the current DVD versions and keep them out, so people have that and still stream, because there is room for both. And I'm curious to see if they start doing videos as collector's editions like they're doing with vinyl, just for the packaging and for the collectability and to have on the shelf. I'm really curious to see if they do that like they're doing with vinyl. But I don't know, I couldn't keep this to a short video again. I've tried to do this so many times, it just ends up being so long. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. If you lived through this era, what were your thoughts of it? If you're just learning about the troubles we went through to get our shows, be grateful. Bye.